Hi, hello everyone! I'm Toshi from Japan and tourist guide for foreigners. In this video, I'll show you
13 new rules every tourist must know in 2026.
Planning a trip to Japan in 2026? Before you go, you need to know the 13 latest travel rules every tourist should follow. Last year, we shared important tips for visiting Japan, but with more tourists coming in, a lot has changed. In this video, I'll guide you through the newest entry requirements, airport procedures, and travel tips to make your trip smoother and stress-free. Whether you're sightseeing, shopping, or exploring Japanese culture, these tips are a must-know before you travel. Plus, I also offer guided tour in Japan, travel itineraries based on trip duration and area, and recommendations for unique cultural experiences.
You can find more information in the description below. So, let's get started.
Number 1 is Japan entry rule updates. Japan is preparing to introduce a new pre-arrival screening system, often called Japan ESTA. If you watched our previous videos, you may remember that the government has been discussing a system similar to the one used by the United States. This time, new updates have been announced, including details about the required information, who must apply, possible entry refusal conditions, and the planned timeline for the system. Under this system, certain travelers will need to complete an online screening before arriving in Japan. During the application, you'll provide basic travel information such as your occupation, the purpose of your visit, and where you plan to stay in Japan. Here's an important point. If a traveler does not complete this pre-approval, airlines may be required to deny boarding, meaning you could be refused before even getting on the plane. The system mainly applies to visitors from visa-exempt countries and regions who travel to Japan for short stays, such as tourism. Foreign residents who already live in Japan will not be affected by this system. At the same time, the government has also announced possible changes to immigration fees for foreign residents. The current fee cap of 10,000 yen may increase, with some procedures reaching up to 100,000 yen, and permanent residency applications potentially up to 300,000 yen. The new entry system is currently planned for introduction around 2028. Also be careful, fake application websites related to this system have already been reported, so always use the official government site.
I'll keep you updated with any new information, so please subscribe to my channel.
Number 2 is Visit Japan Web. Before you arrive in Japan, there's one thing that can save you a lot of time at the airport. It's called Visit Japan Web. This is an official government service designed to simplify immigration and customs procedures, and it's strongly recommended for all travelers. Let me quickly walk you through 3 major benefits and 2 important mistakes that real travelers have experienced. First, the benefits. Number 1. You don't need to fill out the paper customs declaration form on the plane or at the airport. Number 2. With the QR code, you can skip the regular customs line and go through a faster process. Number 3. It makes your entire arrival process much quicker and smoother. Now, here are 2 important things to watch out for. First, each person needs their own QR code. Even if you register as a family, up to 10 people under one account, each traveler will get a separate QR code, and each one must be shown individually. One of my guests shared a single screenshot among family members, and it caused serious delays at the airport. Second, be careful of fake apps and scam websites. Visit Japan Web is not an app, it's a website. If you find or download an app pretending to be it, delete it immediately. There are also fake sites asking for credit card payments. The Japanese government has already issued warnings about this. Visit Japan Web is not mandatory, but if you don't use it, you'll need to fill out paper forms and wait in longer lines. If you do use it, just show your QR code at customs. One last tip, airport Wi-Fi can be slow, so it's a good idea to take a screenshot in advance.
A small step that makes your arrival much easier.
Number 3 is new flight rule. If you're flying to or from Japan in 2026, there is an important new rule about power banks you should know. I mentioned an earlier update in a previous video, but now there is an even bigger change. Starting around mid-April 2026, new restrictions will apply to power banks on flights arriving in or departing from Japan. Until now, passengers were allowed to use a power bank during the flight to charge devices like smartphones. But under the new rule, 2 major restrictions will be introduced. First, using power banks inside the cabin will be prohibited. This means you cannot use them to charge your phone, and you also cannot charge the power bank itself during the flight. Second, the number you can bring is limited to 2 per passenger. Previously, as long as the batteries met safety standards, you could bring multiple units. but that will no longer be allowed. This rule applies to all passengers on flights arriving in or departing from Japan. The reason is safety. Around the world, there have been increasing incidents of power banks overheating, producing smoke, or even catching fire on airplanes. So if you need to charge your devices,
So if you need to charge your devices, use charging stations at the airport or the power outlets at your seat instead.
Number 4 is Prohibited Items Guide. Before entering Japan, it's very important to understand what you can and cannot bring into the country. If you try to bring prohibited items, they may be confiscated, and in some cases, it could even lead to serious trouble at the airport. Let's start with 5 commonly misunderstood prohibited items. First, meat products. Most meat items are not allowed into Japan, whether raw or cooked. This includes sausages, bacon, and even beef jerky. A friend of mine once tried to bring a leftover burger from the US, and it was confiscated immediately upon arrival. Second, fruits and vegetables. Even common items like apples, oranges, and bananas are not allowed. Japan has very strict rules to prevent pests and plant diseases. But the good news is that fresh fruit is easy to find once you arrive. Third, medications. Some over-the-counter or prescription drugs that are legal in your country may be restricted or prohibited in Japan. I personally experienced this when I bought painkillers in the US that were not approved for import into Japan. Illegal drugs, including recreational substances, are strictly prohibited and come with severe penalties. Always check the official government website before you travel. Fourth, counterfeit luxury goods. Fake branded items are considered a violation of intellectual property rights in Japan, and bringing them in can lead to serious legal issues. Fifth, certain animal products. Japan follows international CITES regulations, so items made from endangered species, such as tiger, crocodile, or exotic reptiles, are strictly prohibited. Now let's look at 2 items that are allowed but restricted. First, alcohol and tobacco. You can bring them into Japan, but only within duty-free limits. If you exceed the limit, you may need to pay high taxes or have items confiscated. Second, cash. If you bring more than 1 million yen in cash or valuables, you must declare it at customs. There is no tax just for declaring, but failing to declare or making a false declaration can result in penalties or confiscation.
For a full list of restricted items, check my previous video.
Number 5 is no book, no entry. If you want to enjoy the best activities in Japan, there's one thing you absolutely need to know. Many popular attractions now require advance reservations. For example, Tokyo Disneyland stopped selling same-day tickets in 2024, and Universal Studios Japan followed in May 2025. Without a reservation, you simply can't get in. There are no ticket counters at the gates. To help you plan, here are 6 must-visit attractions that really need a reservation. Team Lab, Shibuya Sky, Pokemon Cafe, Ghibli Museum, Nintendo Museum, and the Mario Kart Experience. Arriving without a booking can mean being turned away or standing in long lines for hours. As a tour guide, I often get last-minute booking requests, but by then tickets are usually sold out. I've also introduced travelers to some truly unique experiences that are worth reserving early. A traditional tea ceremony with freshly brewed matcha, a samurai experience based on 200 years of tradition, sake tasting at a UNESCO World Heritage Brewery, making your own ramen from scratch at a noodle factory, and a sushi making class with a professional chef. If you're interested, I even offer discount codes. Check the link in the description to see all the details on my website and plan your trip smartly.
And if you want the best experiences, book early.
Number 6 is new no tourist area. In a previous video, I talked about how Kyoto's famous Gion district started restricting access to certain alleys from April 2024. This was to prevent incidents related to the sudden surge in tourists, like Mako hunting, where tourists would block streets to take photos of apprentice geishas or even throw cigarette butts on their kimonos. Now, there's another important update starting March 2025. Tsushima Island in Nagasaki Prefecture has banned all tourists from entering the Watatsumi Shrine. This shrine is well known as the setting for the popular game Ghost of Tsushima, which led to a huge increase in visitors. Unfortunately, the shrine has faced problems like littering, smoking, mountain biking in restricted areas, and even public urination. Staff have also been verbally abused, especially when speaking foreign languages loudly, causing serious distress. To protect this sacred site, its staff, and local culture, a complete ban on tourists was enforced. Local officials said they felt the destruction of culture and stressed the importance of respecting local customs and people. This is a clear reminder to all visitors, respecting the places and communities you visit is essential.
Let's hope these restrictions don't spread to other areas of Japan.
Number 7 is Japan's new tax-free rules. If you're planning to shop in Japan, this is something you really need to know. Japan has made major changes to its tax-free shopping system, and these updates could completely change how you shop during your trip. The reason behind this is simple. The government wants to stop tourists from abusing the system by buying items tax-free and reselling them illegally. So here are 4 key changes you should be aware of. First, Japan is shifting to a refund-based system. You'll pay the consumption tax at the store, then receive a refund at the airport when you leave Japan. This is similar to how tax-free shopping works in countries like Germany and France. Second, special sealed packaging for consumable goods is no longer required. This speeds up the checkout process and reduces waiting time at the store. Third, the previous purchase limit of 500,000 yen has been removed. However, if your total purchase exceeds 1 million yen, the store must register serial or identification numbers for those items. Fourth, these new rules will take effect starting November 1st, 2026. While the system becomes more flexible, it also means you'll need to plan your shopping a bit more carefully. The government has even discussed the possibility of ending the tax-free system entirely in the future, arguing that tourists also benefit from public services and should contribute through taxes. If that happens, it would be a major change for international travelers.
I'll keep you updated with any new information, so please subscribe to my channel.
Number 8 is shocking new lodging taxes and countermeasures. When you visit Japan, one of the essentials is of course your hotel. But here's the surprising part. In major cities like Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto, hotel prices in 2025 have risen more than 60% compared to pre-pandemic rates. And it's not just the room rates. A new lodging tax is spreading across the country, affecting both big cities and regional areas. For example, Tokyo will switch to a flat 3% lodging tax in 2027, which is effectively a price increase. In Osaka, the lodging tax went up by 200 yen in September 2025, and the minimum price for taxation dropped from 7,000 to 5,000 yen. In Kyoto, starting March 2026, the maximum lodging tax will jump from 1,000 to 10,000 yen per night. So if you stay at a luxury hotel over 100,000 yen a night, you'll pay an extra 10,000 yen in tax. Even regional areas are introducing new taxes. From autumn 2025, 11 prefectures, including Hokkaido, Miyagi, Gifu, Shimane, and Hiroshima, started charging 100 to 500 yen per night. These taxes aim to support sustainable tourism and reduce over-tourism. So how can you save money? Here are 2 simple tips. First, book early. Many hotels offer early bird discounts, sometimes 10 to 20% off if you book 2-3 months in advance. Second, choose your location wisely. Even in Tokyo and Osaka, there are areas with good transport, lower land prices, and cheaper hotels. In a previous video, I shared some of these budget-friendly areas.
Please check them out if you want to travel smart and save.
Number 9 is Japan's dual pricing. I've touched on this in a previous video, but dual pricing is becoming more common in Japan, and 2026 brings some important updates you should know. First, there's a growing trend of charging different prices for foreign and domestic visitors. The Japanese government is considering introducing this system in national museums and art galleries. The reason is simple. With more tourists, costs for multilingual guides, audio guides, and visitor services continue to rise. If this system is implemented, foreign visitors could pay 2 to 3 times the normal entry fee. For example, the Tokyo National Museum in Ueno currently charges about 1,000 yen, but tourists might end up paying as much as 3,000 yen. And it's not just museums, Niseko ski resorts, some restaurants in Tokyo, and large theme parks in Okinawa already use dual pricing. The second type of dual pricing is based on residency rather than nationality. Take Himeji Castle, one of Japan's most famous World Heritage sites. From March 2026, a new system will charge 1,000 yen for local residents, and 2,500 yen for anyone living outside Himeji, even other Japanese citizens. I'm not a Himeji resident myself, so I pay the higher price. This change helps cover maintenance costs as visitor numbers grow. Preserving Himeji Castle's historic beauty while managing crowds requires a lot of resources. That said, Japan is not unique. Similar systems exist around the world, including Gardens by the Bay in Singapore, Diamond Head in Hawaii, and Wat Pho Temple in Thailand. Opinions in Japan are divided. Many people want to avoid higher prices during a weak yen, but they also don't want to discriminate against visitors.
So what do you think? Please your thought in the comment section.
Number 10 is new Shinkansen rules. If you're visiting Japan in 2026, there are two important Shinkansen rules you need to know. First, oversized luggage now requires a reservation. Since July 2025, some trains have a large luggage corner on certain decks where you could place your suitcase without a reservation. But space is limited, so it's strongly recommended to book your luggage spot when you buy your ticket. If you don't, you'll be charged an extra 1,000 yen when you board. And if you're not sure whether your suitcase qualifies as oversized, just ask a station staff. They'll help you. Second, during Japan's busiest holiday periods, free seating is no longer available. This includes Golden Week in May, summer holidays in August, and New Year's from late December to early January. In the past, even if all seats were full, you could stand in a free seating car. Now that option is gone. If you don't reserve in advance, you may not be able to travel during peak times. This mainly affects major routes connecting Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima, and Fukuoka, some of the most popular tourist destinations in Japan. The government says this change is part of a strategy to manage over-tourism and ensure a comfortable ride for everyone.
So if you are taking the Shinkansen, follow these two rules and enjoy a smooth, stress-free journey.
If you would like a personal guide in Japan or need recommendations for travel plans and cultural experiences,
Please contact me from the link in the description section.
Number 11 is new train rules. As I mentioned in a previous video, the Japan Rail Pass increased in price by about 60%, which made it less attractive for many travelers. However, there are actually 3 important updates that make the pass, and some regional passes more convenient again. First, picking up your pass has become much easier. In the past, travelers had to go to a ticket counter at the station and show their passport to a staff member to exchange the pass. This could take a long time when stations were crowded. But starting April 1st, 2026, certain passes booked through the official website can now be exchanged at ticket machines with passport scanners. This self-service option is available at major stations such as Tokyo Station, Shinjuku Station, Shibuya Station, and stations at Haneda Airport and Narita International Airport. Second, regional rail passes have been significantly updated. In spring 2026, several regional passes offered by companies such as JR East were renewed and adjusted in price. Some passes now cover wider areas, allowing travelers to explore more destinations with a single ticket. This is especially beneficial for trips to regions like Tohoku, Hokkaido, and Hokuriku. Third, as explained in the previous section, starting in the spring of 2026, JR East, which operates trains across the Tokyo and Tohoku regions, increased both regular train fares and limited express surcharges. This means the base prices for regular tickets and express trains have gone up. So in comparison, the Japan Rail Pass can now feel a little more cost-effective than before.
So if you plan carefully, you can still travel Japan comfortably and save money.
Number 12 is Kyoto's Big Luggage Ban. Kyoto is one of Japan's most visited cities, and it's currently dealing with serious over-tourism. Because of this, the city is strongly promoting what they call hands-free sightseeing, which means tourists are encouraged not to bring large luggage on city buses. In reality, this has already led to situations where people with big suitcases are effectively denied boarding. When I visited Kyoto in November 2025, I saw several travelers turned away during peak hours because their bags were simply too large. According to the official bus rules, luggage must be under 1 meter in length and under 10 kilograms in total weight. At the moment, going over these limits won't automatically get you rejected or charged extra, but Kyoto's Transportation Bureau is considering stricter enforcement, including possible fees or tighter size restrictions. Of course, storing your luggage at a hotel or in station lockers is one option, but sometimes you just have to carry big bags, especially when your hotel is located in an area that can only be reached by bus. In those cases, you may end up needing to take a taxi, which can be significantly more expensive. In a previous video, I explained which parts of Kyoto are convenient to stay in, and which areas are best avoided for this reason.
So if you want to a smoother and more affordable trip, make sure to check out that video as well.
Number 13 is drinking rules. Many visitors are surprised to learn that drinking alcohol on the streets is generally allowed in Japan. During seasonal events like cherry blossom viewing or autumn leaves, it's common to see people enjoying drinks outdoors and having a good time. However, there are some important rules to know. In certain areas and at specific times, street drinking is prohibited, and breaking this rule can result in a fine. For example, in Shibuya, Tokyo, drinking on the street is banned every day from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. the next morning. In 2025, large events like Halloween led to street drinking bans around Shinjuku Station as well. So, if you plan to drink outdoors, make sure the location allows it. Follow the rules and enjoy your trip safely.
How was today's video? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like button. See you in my next video. Bye!